There's a place, a school, an institution where a professor resides. One that for the past 30 years has traveled the world teaching others. A pioneer in America of the fighting science of Savate. One who codified the sports of this fighting style. One who has produced clubs, champions, and continues to develop. Listen to words of Professor Buitron.
Folks, I hope you guys had a great weekend. This weekend, I had a great conversation with one of my oldest students, taking some guys to the ring, and a huge question came up. And he says, Professor, when is it time when I can pull out my fighter before the ring? Well, I know where he's coming from with that. So I'm going to talk to you all about the following. There's a difference between being a coach and trainer and training people inside the ring, for the ring, inside a gym, teaching them the aspects of the sweet science, whether it's boxing, whether it's Thai boxing, whether it's Savate, whether it's MMA, what have you. But when you go take a fighter to the ring, you become a second. That takes you into another different level. There's no way of explaining, but you have to go through the process. You actually have to be an apprentice, if you want to look at it that way, be behind those that take others inside the ring. There's some coaches that coach just in the gym setting, but they won't take anybody inside the ring. There's others that's all they do. They take others if they're seconds and cutmen and coaches in the corners when a fighter goes in. Remember, there's always two people. So I'm going to talk to you about that because that is something that is very crucial for the development of your team, your crew, yourself, your fighters, the trust, all that kind of stuff goes into that. So you have to be very, very much in tune with what I'm going to tell you, what I'm going to say, and take it through experience. I learned when I was back in Savate. I learned I was the second to my trainer, and many times in the ring, Richard Sila, with some of his competitors there, Dominic Dr. as well. I had others when I fought, be my coach in corner, and then the second. They changed the name coach to second. So in most boxing commissions around it, you're considered a second. Okay, he's going to be my second. He's the one and he's basically the one that calls the shots. When you go into pro and so on and so forth, they still call second, but you have cutmen, then you have a little bit more goes into that. But usually, I'm going to just talk towards the amateur arena of this. A lot of folks come to my school. They come there at least once a week. I get somebody that wants me to train them to go into the ring. Before I take somebody into the ring, before me personally, take somebody inside the ring, he better know all the basics. Better know all the basic defenses, basic strikes. Period. He has to be there for at least a year with me. Then from there, I can tell you if you're coachable for the ring, if you have the discipline, if you have the stamina, what I can work with. Because remember, it's everything's a learning process. You might have a guy that, and I found it before. They come in, they want to fight in the ring. You want you to take them up to the ring, but they don't have no skills whatsoever. They have enthusiasm. Some of them aren't coachable. You tell them pick up their hands, and they'll turn around and tell you, "Well, this is the way I was taught. This is the way I'm going to hold it because this is the way I look good." And they'll tell you some crazy stuff. If they don't want to pay attention to you, I cut them off right then and there. It's gone out. So I'm not talking about those students teaching inside the ring. I'm talking about when you've already have a boxer and you're stepping up to the ring. You are headed into a competition. You have a scheduled bout, you have a scheduled smoker, you have a scheduled tournament already up into play. You have your team in progress. You have to monitor their weights. You have to put them on a weight line and a weight scale and how much are you and so on and so forth. Where are you at? Where there's a lot of things that you have to monitor. Okay, there's some boxers that don't like for you to tell them, hey, you're 10 pounds overweight. That's ain't gonna happen. Okay, people say, oh, it doesn't matter. It does matter when you have somebody that's 5'2", 5'3", and he weighs 190 pounds, and the 190 pounder comes in and he's 6'2". There is a difference. Okay, people understand that. Well, here's what I'm talking about. You have to be conscientious once you go inside the circle of whether boxing, whether savate, whether what have you, what pugilist style that you're going to go into, whether it's MMA. You have to get to know the coaches that are around. Who are the ones that are bringing in fighters? How are their fighters being brought in? Okay, there's a lot of studying that goes into this. And if your coach is not studying, well, now find another place. But for you as a coach, I want to be a second. Do a lot of studying. Understand who the coaches are that are bringing in, that are always taking fighters to the competitions. Okay, there's some clubs that only go once a year. There's some clubs that are there every single competition. They have somebody to compete. Okay, look at those. Make friends with them. They're not your enemy. It's a sport. Make friends with them. They might help you, and you might help them. Understand that. Okay. There's a lot of people out there that claim, oh, he's going to take my students, he's going to take this, he's going to take that. No, on the contrary, he might end up asking you for you to help him in the corner and vice versa. It occurs, believe me, it occurs when stuff like that happens. Now, let's go with weight. A lot of boxers do not want to make weight. A lot of saboteurs get mad when you tell them you have to drop pounds. They get mad when you tell them you have to start training a little bit more. Start watching your diet. Start training. Come to class regularly. Come to the training sessions regularly. Let's see what you have. Okay. Now, the question that was asked yesterday, that was called by my student. He goes, I have a fighter. He's going to be fighting right now, professor. His first bout, remember, bout one. He's going to have, they matched him up with somebody that has 9 bouts in front of him. Body, remember, folks, as a coach, your ego can exist. Everything's for the safety of the person that you're taking into the ring, into that competition. So everything you do is for safety. It's not for my ego. I want to fight him because my team is so tough. Oh man, we're so tough, and we're going to go in there and fight him. And it's okay if he gets his nose broken. That's the most stupid thing you can say. Believe me, you don't want to get anybody hurt or killed or injured. So there's a lot of things in there. I got, knock on wood. I never had anybody injured in taking them up there, but I saw some crazy coaches out there. I saw some incidences before, and God bless those people. It's okay. I told him, he goes, what would you do? Well, number one, the enthusiasm is there. You got 2 choices now. You can allow him to go inside the ring, and if he's getting hammered, you throw the towel in. Or you can say, I'm withdrawing from this competition. Nothing wrong with saying that. The other coaches have been there before. They understand what's going on if they're sensible. Meet them again someplace else, maybe in the Golden Gloves. Okay? Get some experience behind you. Now, if you fight somebody that he's had 2 or 3 fights, and this is your first one, yeah, I'll match him up, but not 10 9-0, where the person is has won all of them. I wouldn't do that. You don't want to burn or scare your competitor because he might be good. He loses, maybe gets busted up a little bit, and all of a sudden, guess what? Now he's afraid of going into the ring again. Things like that occur. Things like that happen. Folks, take care of your fighter at all times. Your whole team. That is your school. That is your crew. Take care of them. I've had parents come up to me because I stopped one time. One kid, he was really getting pounded up there, so I threw up the towel. They came up to me and he goes, "Oh, he was winning. He was getting beaten. Believe me." So I threw it in. I remember boxing head boxing commissioner of Texas, Dickie Cole. He saw that bout. When I stopped it, I stopped it. It was the Golden Gloves over in Dallas, and he stopped it. Come up to me and he goes, "Paul, I'm glad you did that. Finally, I'm seeing some common sense in some people." We became very good friends after that. God bless us all. He used to visit the school over there in Irving and sit down. We would get some pizza and sit with him. In fact, the Fratellis were cousins to Dickie Cole. Some great people, some very good people. Um, Folks, when you're stepping up and you're going into the ring for the first time, start learning. Never stop. Get with the old timers. Ask them. A couple of things you should know when you're going to be taking people up there. You better know how to wrap hands. A person that doesn't know how to wrap hands is going to cost his boxer's hands. Could end up busting. Okay? Either you wrapped them up too tight, person hit, broke his bones, or it was too loose, hit, broke his bone. You don't want to cause that type of harm to yourself. You have 60 seconds in between rounds. You have to be able to tell everything to your competitor, what he's doing right, what he's doing wrong, and what you want him to strike at or want him to correct on himself, all in 60 seconds. While you're giving him a little bit of water, keeping him cool, and keeping them focused in the ring. So I tell you all, when you guys start going into the ring and you're doing your sparring matches, you better be practicing being the corner, being the second. The person that's going to go with you is going to be giving you water, it's going to be giving you everything else, because not only are you talking to him, you're cleaning him up, trying to see where it's at, getting your points across for him to either better himself or to take advantage of some openings that his opponent is having. All that goes in there. You have to practice over and over and over. Okay. Do not be afraid of when you spar. Make sure you're second. You're the coach. Your second is going to be right there with you at the same time. Okay. So there's so much to learn. It's a beautiful sport. It's a beautiful entity. All pugilism is great. From kickboxing, Savate, Thai boxing, MMA, boxing, all great sports. Number one, learn the rules, read up on them, get the little rule book, make sure you know it backwards and forward so nobody can come up to you. Understand that you can challenge decisions that were made. Make sure it can happen. Make sure you have it, be able to do it quick. Believe me, people. Um, Especially in amateur, you have a lot of favoritism going on, just like in pro. Be awake, understand, train your competitors, train them to understand the rules as well. Okay, because sometimes they don't know the rules. Okay, and they think by doing something, it might cost them some matches. Nonetheless, um, have fun, be safe, and practice a lot. And remember, when in doubt, you stop the bout. period. There's no if, buts, or. When in doubt, you stop the bout. I hope this message, you like it, press like, press share, and join, subscribe. Forget a little bell. We're going to continue doing a bunch of stuff within the channel. We have so much going on, especially with gloves off, with some combinations, some new stuff in there. People are always asking me, how can I learn Savate? There's a membership page right here on YouTube. It can take you all the way up to Red Glove. Start learning. Until next time, much peace.